The past millennium. What amazes us most? Perhaps the fact that we humans are not as smart as we like to think. We have not learned to live on this planet. Not in peace with each other, not in peace with the environment, despite all our technological advances. Why is that? A lack of vision and power politics. There's always a good explanation for what happens in the world. The world has long fought over oil. It's never the official reason for war. Almost always it has been the real one. The availability of energy dictates the world's marching orders and living conditions. Things are often more simple than they look. What would a Finnish dog owner, German computer programmer, American advertising guru, Chinese factory worker and London city banker have in common? Basic needs, for example. Food and drink, warmth and security, the desire to love and to matter, to be accepted, to be useful in one way or another. Healthcare, education, a living wage and other nice things. We all want the good life. We Finns may define the good life somewhat differently from the Chinese. Maybe the Chinese dream today is closer to that of the grandparents of our children, sometime back in the 60s. Consumerism reared its head. Cars, domestic appliances, travel to exotic locations. Now that it is the turn of the Chinese to dream of the good life, we find ourselves terrified. The rise in living standards in China rests on the use of coal and oil. So was the case in Finland. We number some 5 million. And in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, which consumes 1/4 of all oil produced. There are 280 million Americans and 1,300 million Chinese. Should an American go and tell the Chinese, "Stop it now. The planet will run out if you adopt our lifestyle. Out of clean air, water, food, oil, and all the other raw materials." This is the bizarre argument that could be made in world politics. Since we grew rich before you did, we are more entitled to the atmosphere and everything else that humankind needs. The globalization of the economy means that everything good, as well as everything bad, is becoming global. Globalization as such is not a novel concept. The birth of the entire Finnish forest industry, from tar on up, was an example of the global economy at its purest. What is new are the problems. The world only has one atmosphere. Decisions would surely come easier if every nation had its own. Now the decisions we make impact not only on our own chances of survival, but those of everyone. As for responsibility, will anyone take responsibility? Climate change, pure and simple. Global warming is what they talk about. That phenomenon, in fact, is what makes life possible on Earth. Gases in the atmosphere act like the glass walls of a greenhouse. They keep the inside temperature higher than the outside. Without this greenhouse effect, the global climate would be some 33 degrees Celsius colder. When the amount of gases rises too high, it acts like double glazing in the atmosphere and accelerates the warming process. The most important greenhouse gas is carbon dioxide. approximately half of all released carbon dioxide is stored back in growing forests and swamps and the world's oceans, which is why these are called carbon sinks. But humankind is already surpassing the capacity of the carbon sinks. Climate change is not propaganda. Look up the 60th parallel on the map, and you will notice that there are very few people living above it. We Finns, in fact, constitute the majority. The thing that makes life this far up north possible is the warm Gulf Stream. We now face a peculiar threat. Should the melting ice caps cause the Gulf Stream to change course, Finland would become so cold as to make life impossible. This, despite the average temperature of the world rising. Extreme weather is clearly becoming more common. Torrential rains, floods, recurring droughts, heatwave upon heatwave. Hurricanes creeping up the US coastline. The hurricanes may have charming names, but the havoc they wreak is anything but. And the energy prices peak immediately. Adequate local energy self-sufficiency is the only way we can truly make a difference on our chances of survival. Oil and coal are the easy way out. But if we want our good life to continue, we need willpower and endeavour. Every ton of oil and coal that can be replaced with domestic and local bioenergy is a step in the right direction. Both for us and for the planet.